So last week, I had a client who, in regards to something we were talking about, said to me, well, Amy, I guess it's just mind over matter with regards to this then, right? And of course, I smiled at her and agreed, because oftentimes in life, it is mind over matter. There's so many things that's true about. But I took the time with her last week in our session to talk with her a little bit about that concept, mind over matter, on a deeper meaning and way. And ultimately, what I was sharing with her, I realized I wanted to share with you all as well, even though I've talked about it in previous videos. I know I have, and I wrote about it in my book, because it's just that important. It bears repeating. And really, what I was explaining to her is that it's not mind over matter, just anything that simple. It's a certain part of our mind over another part of our mind, and it's that happens that allows us to have power and control over the matter. And so I want to explain what I mean about that, in the hopes that it'll help somebody here today, because what I do believe is that for those of you that are trying to make big changes in your life, establish new habits, do really hard, uncomfortable stuff, achieve massive goals, it's very helpful to know how our brains actually work, because then you can have better mastery over yourself and over your brain. So it's important to understand that all of our brains have two components. There's a subconscious component or an unconscious component, and there's a conscious component to our brains. And I think the thing that fascinates me most is just how much faster the subconscious mind processes than the conscious mind. So it's been said that our conscious brains can process 4,000 bits of information per second. That's a lot of information, 4,000. But our subconscious minds can process 2 billion pieces of information in that same time frame. So 4,000, 2 billion. That's a difference of basically 500,000 times, 500,000 times faster the subconscious mind works. Wow, that's a lot of speed. And we can recognize how quickly we can respond to things when our subconscious mind is helping us in all sorts of day-to-day life examples. When we see a red light, we instantaneously know we should pause and hit the brake. Most of us choose to do that. Maybe not here in Southern California always. Some people hit the gas, but again, most of us see red. We're driving a car, we hit the brake. We touch a hot stove and we immediately know to pull away. Fight responses are governed in our subconscious part of our brains. And our subconscious make decisions for us or are acting for us all day long. And what they really do, it's not so much that they make decisions, but it's that they run programs for us that we have taught it before. And so it's basically where all of our automated responses come from. So basically, the subconscious mind does two things for us. It runs old programs that we have taught it to learn. So it knows when X happens, do Y. And once we've taught it that, then it does that forever and on a drop of a dime without us having to think about it, which is very helpful. This keeps us extremely safe. And in general, this is what keeps us alive. And then the subconscious has a second thing that it does, which is that it wants to protect us. It wants to keep us safe. And so it's constantly scanning the environment for signs of threat or danger, and it's sort of scoping things out for us. This all sounds great on the surface, and again, it's one of the tools that we have to help keep us alive. But our subconscious mind can also work against us. And because it's wanting to keep us safe, and that's what it's been doing for us since the beginning of time, it can mislead us or sabotage us to avoid things that could actually be good for us. It doesn't like change. It doesn't like unfamiliar situations. It doesn't like feeling uncomfortable or any kind of pain. It doesn't like hurting. It doesn't like feeling awkward. And all of these things are actually necessary whenever we start new habits, whenever we want to build a new life for ourselves and create new processes and systems to help us get there. It's that voice that when we say, well, maybe I should train for a full marathon. Maybe I should go out for the basketball team. Maybe I should try to do this very difficult sport. It's what kind of is like, nah, you don't really need to do that. That sure seems like a lot of hard work. You could injure yourself. I'm sure the other people are going to be better. You're doing just fine as you are. It's that voice that whenever we're thinking about going up for a big promotion at work or trying to do something new with our careers, that voice that kind of comes in and says, oh yeah, but like you're going to have to do that presentation in front of all those people, and boy, that's going to be really, really challenging. And the other candidates are probably more qualified anyway. Maybe you don't even go up for it. This is going to take a lot of time, and you don't really have that time to give right now. It wants to keep things even and the same and maintain this sense of homeostasis or status quo. And so the subconscious can really kind of hold us back in moments where we're just trying to improve or change something about our lives. Yeah, it's going to be hard. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Yeah, it's going to be some struggle involved, but our subconscious will almost kind of talk us out of it because it wants us not to have to go through all that. So if this is happening to you or you feel like it could be, a couple of key things that you can do. First, you got to get your conscious mind in the driver's seat more often and asking your conscious mind what it thinks and giving it that chance to weigh in on whatever's going on is critical. Now, we already said in this video that the subconscious is processing so much faster than the conscious mind. Again, 500,000 times faster, 500,000 times faster. And so the most important thing we can do is whenever we're making a big decision is to give it time. And you hear this adage out there in society, it's kind of a cliche, just give it time. And in fights with your spouse, you might get the advice of, well, just go for a walk around the block, or maybe just separate for a while, or just let it kind of calm down. And the reason that actually works, and that's such common advice, is that when you do that, when you actually put time in between a stimulus and a response, in that space, that's really where you get to choose what kind of response you want to have, but you give your conscious mind a chance to come to the table and to have an opinion and to have a voice. You get to ask yourself all sorts of questions, such as, am I sure that I'm reacting the right way and how I'm saying I'm feeling about this? Is that really what's going on? Or is there something more or deeper that I'm not admitting to myself? Like, am I afraid of something or nervous about something or worried about something? And I'm not really saying that. I'm just kind of pretending it's this other thing that's bothering me. Or do I have all the information to make this decision? I mean, am I really sure that this is what's going on? Or could it just be a story I'm telling myself? Is there more people I need to go talk to or more research I need to do? Just do I have all the information I need to make this decision? Thinking about your long-term goals and saying, where do I really want to be in 5 years or 10 years? And who am I? What do I want to be proud of myself for? And who am I as a person? And does this decision or this reaction I'm having right now align with that and tie into that? Or am I just feeling upset about something and emotional at the moment? And again, my subconscious is doing all this work for me. When you give yourself time and you extend that space between stimulus and response and you allow your conscious mind to ask questions, then you get to make decisions that are really in line with who you want to be, who you feel that you are already becoming, and what really matters most to you instead of just the heat of the moment. And so ultimately, if there's a goal that you're kind of ignoring or you're holding yourself back or you're just feeling angry or upset about something that someone did or said to you, you gotta stop and make sure that your conscious mind is part of what's going on and saying, I'm gonna give it some time. I'm gonna ask myself these very important questions. I'm gonna really, really dig into what matters to me, how I'm feeling, why I'm feeling it, if there's more information I need, and then I'm gonna make my decision, or then I'm gonna decide how to feel about it, and then I'm gonna have my reaction. When we do this, when we allow ourselves more time, when we use our conscious brains in addition to our subconscious to decide what the right way to respond to something is, we oftentimes end up in completely different places in life and with completely different circumstances. So if you haven't been doing this, if you've been letting your subconscious mind run the show and you haven't sort of checked in with it periodically, as often as even daily, I think you could really be missing out on what it is that you're possible, what it is that you're capable of. Again, often with our conscious mind involved, we draw very different conclusions and we decide to feel a very different way. And so again, it's not mind over matter. It's really our conscious mind, sometimes over our subconscious minds. And that's what allows us to have that power over the matter. And so with that, I hope some of this was useful. Please reach out. I always love getting questions, messages, comments on these videos. It's fun for me to have discussions about these concepts. I've been practicing them a long time, and I just really enjoy sharing them with you. With that, everybody have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next week.